Frame number 1. What you see here is a taxi that had just picked me up from the airport. What you do not see are the crossroads. Even less visible is the child standing there. He is the god El Agua, guarding all paths, the keys of our destiny dangling from his waist. He smiles, flicks a blessing off his tongue, waves us on. Between your want and the city there is some 20 kilometers. Make sure to take a left at the fork. What about the years of our music and the letters now burning a hole in my pocket? Such a retro beauty you are, all the glamour of a rock star Barbie doll I wanted so badly when I was 10, but grander, more hair. I see through the palm trees rising or falling that you are inching towards us in a pink cabriolet. The billboard sighs a slogan about imperialism or something, and it mists the windshield. I've lost you, El Agua, the child god, points north and sucks on his lollipop. Just keep going, around the bend your first curve. A short glimpse, and you're gone. Now just an endless road to the center or the moon, I can't tell. There was a time when I dreamed regularly, and you would come. You'd be wearing a big hat and stilettos, way too much makeup, but even then I would have followed you anywhere. Hasta la victoria siempre, the billboard says, so we must be going in the right direction. Scenic rides take you past ponds and tobacco farms. The wind rolls in through the open window. I catch another glimpse of you, and you are so much taller than in my dream, dressed up, in all the thin threads of anticipation, see-through, certainly a destination. At the crossroads, El Agua sends us south. Just keep going. Eventually you'll get to where you need to be.
Frame number 2. What you see here is Havana's famous seaside esplanade called Malecón. It is dawn. Cuban poet José Martí points his finger at the American embassy. What you do not see is the surf. Even less visible is the night before. It had consisted of 2 boys doing backflips, 19 pairs of lovers sucking each other's faces, 1 blaring boombox every 5 meters, 6 catcalls tangled in a girl's skirt, she almost tripped, 2 drums and a pair of hands handing out prayers, gallons of room, and I mean gallons. 1 promised land over yonder, glimmering in the distance. The sea casting a net of spume. I got caught. 2 bags of popcorn and 1 paper cone of peanuts. 1 song for me I didn't want but took anyway. I'm polite. 1 clumsy drunken trumpet. In the morning my heart pounds. Too much rum? Or is it just the swell of the ocean inside my ribcage?
Frame number 3. What you see here is a hot afternoon in Regla, a borough of Havana just a short ferry ride away from the city proper. It is the home of Santeria goddess Yemaya, who sits at the altar of the church on the shore in one of her incarnations, that of Virgen de la Regla. 2 women are walking down the street with an umbrella to shield them from the midday sun. Some men are loading things into their car in front of a building with a sign that says Havana Port. This is not where the ferry docks. What you do not see is the sea. Even less visible is Yemaya breathing below the waves. Shh. Listen. That's the ocean billowing her skirt. To touch it, lick salt of her breath, I first must water the seeds inside her womb. They will be worlds. Against my eyelids, tides lap. I have a stifling thirst for the sun to quench. For a peso, will you please bless my path? Hunger pools in copper coins at the bottom of the basket. These are offerings, her offspring's yearnings wound tight inside hot, hopeful whispers. All my change goes in for. Limbs released to the wind, a deliberate drift. On the horizon, the fuzzy contours of my 2nd, 3rd, 4th life. Here's the sweet, sweet watermelon, now bobbing between her breath.
Frame 4. What you see here is Parque Almendares in Havana. The locals call it simply El Bosque, the forest. Followers of many Afro-Cuban religions practiced on the island often come here to perform rituals. What you do not see is the river. Even less visible is Ochun, sunbathing on its left bank. There are droplets dangling down her wings. She pecks at her dinner, decomposing bodies and leftover longing. Lovers want her to lock sweet sweat under the ceiba tree, a seal to be broken at the dawn of a new lifetime. Only then. The forest conspires with the goddess. Feed her well. But this you cannot see. You can only smell the sickly sweet scent of carcass and hope. To believe is to live, is to love, and Ochun, in the river, now wet and full of pigeon and your want, she's a vulture, a siren, may love you even through this effervescent, incandescent heartbreak of a life. May you be blessed, enfolded in this wooded embrace, her lush lung, may you be blessed.
Frame number 5. What you see here is my reflection in a Cuban flag hanging on the door of my room in a hostel in Havana. What you do not see is the mattress I once dragged onto the terrace when my roommate's coughing kept me awake. Still less visible is the night. I sleep little and walk a lot, alone. The street lamps throw golden dust at my feet. Muchacha, it is not safe. Let me walk you home. Oye, caballero, tonight is not the night to rescue me. What would you do with this unbridled freedom? A 3 days' worth of salt in my hair, the dance in my back. I'd rather walk alone, gracias. There is a rhythm to the sand that piles in my bloodstream. Maybe maracas, or a horse galloping up my elbow, my shoulder blades lurch back to receive it. Some say it's a goosebump, but I think it's a legua, nesting in my chest, drumming out his summons. The breeze makes my knees buckle, but I keep on walking. At the end of the street, a well-deserved sleep awaits. There is a mattress on a terrace to hold this body for another brilliant night.
Frame number 6. What you see here are 2 doves on a balcony and an empty chair. No one seems to be home, but I can say that for sure. What you do not see is a house full of people in a different neighborhood of Havana. There is a party going on in honor of God Babaloye, the patron saint of the sick and the poor. He is not here yet, but there are signs. The drums, for example, that woman's loose foot keeping the rhythm. The man in the corner mouthing incantations, sweet something into a glass of rum. And then the girl, braided hair, swinging, singing. The sweat collects on our upper lips, runs down our backs, tiny rivulets along our thighs. Women with generous, limber bodies sway, crushing the space into sticky dust. The man next to me smiles, a foretelling of an imminent coming. The batat drums go for hours, relentless in their summons. A god obliged and enters. He takes over a body and sends it spinning into the courtyard. The body is now on the street, unbridled, a vessel of flesh for the divine to nibble on. I watch from a window as 2 men fling themselves on the convulsing stranger before he starts wreaking havoc in the neighborhood. Before the trickster god sends him into oncoming traffic, the drums keep going. The room swells, grows bigger with the beat, and this thick faith no amount of disbelief can cut through. I do not wish to cut anything. I'd like to breathe. So I get on my tippy toes to catch my breath, now a purple balloon wafting towards the ceiling.
Frame number 7. What you see here are 2 buildings. One on Paseo de Prada, a tree-lined boulevard turned catwalk when Chanel presented its summer collection there last May. The other one is a building on Havana's main square, Plaza Vieja. What you do not see in the first photo is the balcony on the top floor on the left. Even less visible is the future when it may hang there again. In the second photo, you see everything apart from the crumbling neighborhood stretching behind the building. Havana is this splendor, this squalor. See there, another window clings to a building. To your right, a pothole is getting patched up for the American president. To your left, Yael steps into the mud. I know of a cafe that sells lactose-free cookies. The man who stops by my table wants love and a pencil. I only have one that says, "Be your own magic." The sunset slips its hair into my fist. My fingers tighten around the ray. That's the city, leaking gold every evening. I and the cruise liner that just docked are here to collect it. We come with burlap sacks to stuff with looted desire, take back home, bury in our loins. Hey city, are you a Cinderella or a cowgirl? And is there any difference? You call him gringo, he calls you his bitch. I guess you are even. Can you ever be even? Hey city, is it hard to be beautiful? The sea says hush, I can't concentrate on the spume. I'll lull this lobster to sleep. Jack will eat it tomorrow for lunch. A rooster just lost its head on the corner. Maybe Myra gets her lover back. A convertible cruises by. A blonde head releases a hat to the wind. How much for magic, city? 1 peso, 2 peso, 3 peso? How about for blotting out this yearning? 2 peso, 3 peso, 4 peso? How about deliverance? 3 peso, 4 peso, ad infinitum.
Frame number 8. What you see here is a monument to José Martí, one of Cuba's most beloved national heroes and poets. A famous poem of his starts with these lines: "I have 2 homelands, Cuba and the night," or are they one and the same? What you do not see is Plaza de la Revolución across the street. Even less visible is the heat. It melts ice cream in your hand. You gotta slurp it up real fast. Quick! Revolution's on sale today, 3 for 1. Just try not to wear it on your sleeve. Che winks at the folk from a building. "Que vola hacer?" The folk waves back, then runs to catch Wi-Fi in Parque Central. Beneath this palm tree, the reception is exceptionally good. There should be a brother in Miami for every boy who wants Nikes and a boat lift. Hey look, I got some homelands too somewhere. A handful of accents, 4 twisted tongues, but I feel at home here. It might be the music. There is a hurricane coming. It may leave brotherhood ground to dust, but I've known islands that could withstand storms. Where was that again? Another question. Can you feel homesick for a place that doesn't exist? I'd read somewhere that what we want but can't have is blue in color. Then exile must be silver, like, I don't know, a mirror without a reflection, or an empty pewter bowl, something so shiny it's terribly hard to disremember. It looks to me that here we are again, looking for a landing with no land in sight.
Frame 9. What you see here are a pool, a vintage car, and a palm beach. For many people who come to Cuba, this is all they see. And you? What do you see?